If you're here for learning how to plant a tree, click on the link below. It can take you directly to that spot.
Trying to do pictures right now. We ordered some more trees and our order came in. So now we're headed out to the nursery. You guys stoked to get new trees? Yeah.
So we're gonna plant this tree. First off, we have to make a hole. So we'll do that. So this was a lot harder than we thought it would be. There was a lot of rocks. The auger was amazing the past several trees that we planted, but it seems like it has a lot of difficulty when there's a lot of rocks. So we used a lot of other tools, the post hole digger, shovel, pick, as well as the auger, and now we'll get the tree into the ground. So The goal is to mix some of the soil from the pot with some of the natural soil. Sometimes what can happen if there isn't a mixture, the tree can get used to having like really good soil, and it's not going to necessarily want to break through. Especially our soil's all right here, but like if you have a lot of clay soil, it may end up like a clay pot, and then the roots will not want to venture out, and they'll want to stay in one place. So mixing the soil helps avoid some of that. So yeah, let's see if we can take this plant out. I think we're just going to let the dirt dump into the hole, and then we'll kind of take some of the dirt out to help mix in with the older stuff. So sometimes when you get a tree, it'll be in a bucket like this. Other times you might buy it as a bare root. If it's bare root, it simply just means it just has the roots, none of the soil. When we're burying a tree into the ground, usually you want not usually, you do want the soil to be right around where the graft happens. So this grafted part here on the bottom is usually from some other tree that isn't what you're planting. So here we're planting a reindeer cherry. This is an entirely different tree here at the bottom. Usually it's something that grows well in your area with a good root system that they know will work with the tree, and they will graft on the tree that they want on to your branch, which is actually kind of cool. But if this sticks way out, you'll end up getting branches that come out from the tree that you don't really care about. Those are usually called suckers, and those will be basically wasting energy for something that you're not interested in. But if you bury the cherry tree part, or the tree that you care about, that tree isn't necessarily as well adapted to the ground. And so it may rot out, or there could be other negative effects. So you usually want to make sure that you have the graft above ground, but not so high that you'll be getting a bunch of stuff that you don't want. Also, when planting the tree, these roots, you never want these to be up against like a really hard spot. You want it at least a little bit of space where it could grow with the loosened soil that like you've recently loosened. That'll give it a chance to start growing before it hits soil that's harder, that it might have to work harder to go through. And that's also the case for down below. You try to at least have some soil down below that has been loosened up. So we'll continue to mix these two soils and put this tree in the ground. Oh yeah, another tip is we find it way easier to have some sort of bucket or something to put the dirt in. If it goes into the grass or somewhere else in the ground, it seems like it's hard to get the amount of dirt that you had before. Another helpful hack is you can have something that's straight that you put on the soil, and that'll give you an idea like where the bottom of this is where the soil line will be. An important thing to add is mycorrhizal fungi. This is a fungus, and it sounds bad because literally this fungus will go inside of the roots of the tree and start eating into it, but it has a symbiotic relationship with the tree. So it will extend the root system, and it can actually go further than the tree can as far as growing its roots. And so the mycorrhizal fungi will both be inside of the roots, and it will make its own network through the soil, but it's able to grab nutrients, and it takes nutrients from the tree and it gives nutrients to the tree, and they're basically feeding each other, but it ends up being extremely helpful. You don't need a lot of this. we just need enough to get a culture going. So I'll just sprinkle in a little bit and we'll be good. There we have it, and that's how you plant a tree. Alright, here we are at the second hole. I learned something with the auger.
Hi, Daddy.
If you run into a rock, you just need to give up really early and switch to using like a pickaxe or a shovel or something. If you do so, it'll save you time. Also, of course, with all the trees, you gotta water them when you're done. You want to give them a larger soak than normal because a lot of the soil is dry. Alright, let's fill it up. So I tried to mix the soil in place. Didn't work out well. So on this tree, we're seeing that the roots are hitting like right about where we dug our hole. So we're going to expand the hole a little bit to the side in order to give it more room for the roots. So that's hole number 3. This one, a lot of rocks, and yeah, a lot of using the pickaxe in order to loosen the dirt, so you can then use the shovel. Trying to more permanently introduce the hatched flock with the original flock, and Tay is heading this operation, right T? Yeah? Gonna make sure nobody gets too hurt?
Let them like get too crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit's okay, but not too crazy, I agree. That was interesting. I ran into a root system. So, as it was spinning, there was like wood chips coming out of the auger, or at least the dirt that was coming up from the auger. We were told that this spot used to be an orchard. Now we have evidence for that. So I've been using a knife in order to open up the pots. I happen to know that the trees were put in there recently, so it doesn't have like a bound root ball or anything, but if you had a lot more roots inside, you could damage the roots by stabbing it. I mean, technically I could, but I'm taking the risk. The girls have made a slide for the goats. Here we go. Here we go. Slide for the goats. So, we've run into rock. As you can see, this tree, which is a pecan, needs to be buried way deeper. It's supposed to be to that green line. So we need to dig a deeper hole. The problem is you go through the topsoil and you end up with like harder stuff. But literally, and Ashley's amazing. Literally, we hit rock and it's like pickaxing into the rock. And then the problem is getting the pickaxe that far down. Ashley's thinking we need to drill another hole and widen this in order to even get the pickaxe to hit the bottom of the pan there. So yeah, we'll probably do that. See if it works. Pecan tree in. By far the hardest. Not even close. Super deep, super rocky. Good job, team. Super done.